Good morning, Holotable heroes, and welcome back to another Galaxy of Heroes video with me, your bald-headed boy, Scribble. It is Friday morning, the weekend doth beckon, and that can only mean one thing. That's right, we're about to be galactically challenged. Today we find ourselves high above the sky of Jakku, facing off against the Resistance. I get it, it makes sense, it's the right timeline, it's the right factions. The global modifier is last stand. Essentially, this is going to give us a number of buffs when we hit certain thresholds, but it also applies to the enemy team, of course. When we reach 0% protection, we're going to get retribution, which makes us counterattack, obviously. When we go below 50% health, we're going to gain defense up, and if we happen to fall below 25% health, it will trigger damage immunity. Note, if you skip some of these thresholds, so if you go from 50% to dead, you will not get damage immunity. You have to fall into that little bracket. The enemy is incredibly chunky, so they're probably going to get it every time. We also have front deflector screen. At the start of each tank's turn, they're going to gain potency up for 1 turn, and if they get critically hit, they're going to gain protection up 15% for 2 turns. That can make both of our tanks incredibly chunky. Our benefits are, of course, for the Rebel faction, which means this should be an absolute doddle for you people at home, because Rebels are great, especially against the Radis. So, what's going to happen for our Rebels? Essentially, if we score a critical hit during our turn, we have a 100% chance to attack again. This chance is reduced by 10% for every attack after the first bonus attack, and Rebels cannot be countered, which is really useful. This makes the Profundity an absolute monster, because we're just going to hit so many times and trigger ult very quickly. The enemy has got Fearless Fortitude. Essentially, whenever we resist detrimental effects from them, they're going to gain heal over time for 1 turn, and whenever they gain a buff, they're also going to gain stacking potency, crit chance, crit damage until the end of battle, and gain additional turn meter. What are the feats then? Well, I'm glad you're asking, because that's why I'm here. We essentially need to win with at least 5 rebel ships. Note the capital ship counts as 1, so you could have a capital ship and 4 rebel ships, or you could have a non-rebel capital ship and just have 5 rebel fleets inside of your actual fleet loadout. We also need to win with an undersized squad, which is a little bit weird. The feat there is a little bit odd. Essentially what it means is you need to have maximum of 4 ships. That includes your capital. So you can have a capital ship and 3 starting ships, or you could do some weird funky business with like having the executrix with the scythe, 1 unit and a reinforcement, having not a full starting line. It's kind of weird, right? But there's loads of solutions for that. And then we need to win the battle after gaining stealth 10 times. Fantastic. So I'm going to give you basically all but the undersized feats at the start, and then we're going to move on into other options, alright? Let's do this. So we're going to start off with just an easy, accessible Home 1 fleet for us. Home 1 starting lineup of Biggs, Millennium Falcon, and Bistan. Bistan has got a sort of stealth whenever he uses his first special, and of course we've got all of the assists, the dispelling on the Millennium Falcon, so good damage, but not too much. This lets us time out the battle to ensure, guarantee 100% we definitely get all of that stealth. I recommend you focus on the comeuppance at the start. When you get Bistan's first turn, you of course want to use his first special. That first special will stealth him and also place target lock on the enemy, which is going to make our Biggs taunt, and then Biggs can use his first special, yada. You just go ahead and destroy the comeuppance. Now, don't forget, if like me, you forget that Millennium Falcon can actually gain turn meter when in a Home 1 fleet, you can wiggle to your heart's content. First reinforcement, I recommend you bring in Cassian's U-Wing, and I did a little bit of a mistake here, but essentially you want to use the last special on Cassian, this one down here in the bottom right corner, because that will stealth the targeted ally, and I believe it calls them to assist. So that's going to be a source of 2 stealths, because Cassian will also stealth himself. So you get an extra 2 stealths there, that will bring you up to 3 in total. So we're just going to systematically work through the enemy here, just getting rid of the rebels, Rebel Y-Wing here, and you want to try and cleanse off any foresight that the enemy has. So you can see the infiltration tactics, it's going to stealth Cassian and the target ally, so that's put us up to 3 stealths so far in this battle, and we could just get rid of the Rebel Y-Wing in a moment, get rid of those buffs. The Millennium Falcon is very useful here, because it can indeed dispel on a basic, provided there is a Rebel capital ship. Now you can do this same approach with the Profundity, you just have to be a little bit careful that you don't just destroy the enemy too quickly. So here we go, we're just going through here, I'm just taking a look, because it's been a while since I've used these old Rebel ships now. I'm kind of forgetting what they actually do. Always look to cleanse off that foresight, ladies and gentlemen. Always look to cleanse off the foresight. And whenever we can, we're just going to try and use that last special with Cassian to get some additional stealths going on. So we dispel some debuffs here to generate some extra turn meter, which is always nice. And I'm just focusing on the Rebel X-Wing over here, leaving that SF-17 until the end. There we go. Every time we've got this stealth ability, we use it. So that brings us up to 5 stealths. And then I'm going to reinforce with the Ghost. Now, the first special on the Ghost will also stealth the target unit and itself. So there we go. That's up to 7 stealths already. Not too shabby. Very useful to be able to do this, I feel. I think I used the AoE here, do I? No, it looks like I wiggle. And, I thought I'd use the AoE to get rid of the Foresight on Poe Dameron, but I guess we didn't do that. So now that the Rebel, the Resistance fighter, sorry, not the Rebel fighter, is out of there, we're going to focus a little bit on the SF-17, just because we have no other targets to focus on because of that stealth on Poe over there. We lose our bigs, but it really, really doesn't matter, because at this point we're kind of controlling the field, and it's okay for us to try and drag out this battle just to guarantee we get those stealths. I believe we are still only on 7 stealths, so we need to get another 3. And that's not going to be too bad. We lose Bistan over there, and I think we're still going to reinforce with... I think it might be we reinforce with the Phantom, and then we go into Razor Crest, both of which have got their own stealth mechanics, which is great. So here we go, just down to Poe Dameron's X-Wing. I believe our opponent is going to ultimate soon, and that's okay. Like I said, I've deliberately tried to drag out this battle just so that we can make sure we get those stealth feat, because I feel like the stealth feat is probably the most difficult one. I'm ignoring the ultimate here from the capital ship. I'm calling in Phoenix, the Phantom 2, sorry, and it starts with stealth, so that brings us up to 8 stealths already, which is nice. So we only need 2 more stealths, so either a special from the Ghost, first special from the Ghost, or last special from Cassian's U-Wing should round out the remaining stealth feats that we need to get done. But don't forget, we've also got back-to-back reinforcements, thanks to the Phantom 2's reinforcement ability, decreasing our reinforcement cooldown. So we can come in straight away with the Raven's Claw, and that itself has many sources of stealthing. So boom, in he comes, starts stealthed. Isn't that wonderful? Lots and lots of stealth for us. We only need 1 more stealth here, and I believe that the Radus does still actually manage to get up to an ultimate, which is, I find it rather humorous, but it's quite alright, because at this point he has no more reinforcements. There we go. We got a bunch of additional stealths there, extra 2 stealths there, and extra 2 stealths there. So we're at like 13 stealths or something at this point. Easily done, easily done. He dodged that last hit. They did get the ultimate off. I thought it was rather humorous because they've got no more reinforcements, so they kind of just ruined anyway. No hope for this Resistance faction, unfortunately. They are incredibly chunky, I will say that. They take a lot of damage just to take down eventually. That exposed with the Phantom 2 sorts them out, though. And that will get you full fleet of Rebel. Well, you only need 5 ships there. It'll get you all the stealths that you need, and it will get you that win. So rather good. Let's talk about that undersized feat then. So the easiest one I find is to use the Profundity. Now don't worry if you don't have the Profundity, there are a bunch of fleets that can get this done, but this one's very easy. Essentially, Profundity take no reinforcements, just the standard starting lineup of the Millennium Falcon, Outrider, and the Rebel Y-Wing, and you can just... like, absolutely shred. Every single time we score a critical hit, essentially, we're going to be attacking again, and Rebels crit a lot, and there's lots of baked-in assists under the Profundity and just standard Rebels in general. So we're going to be assisting like madmen, dealing so much damage and ramping up our ultimate faster than you can say hoop-de-doodle-doodle-doo. That's right, it's very, very quick. And you see how quickly we shred through these guys? We saw how much damage and how much tankiness that they could actually get beforehand. We're already at 93% or something like that to our ultimate, so we are definitely going to ultimate in like 2 seconds flat. Obviously, this isn't going to get you stealth, this is just around trying to get yourselves up to that undermanned victory, which, as I said before, you just need to have 3 maximum ships. They don't all have to be starting bench, you can have them on reinforcements, but realistically, why would you? So you can just go in and win with the Profundity. I'm relatively sure you could probably go in with this and hit auto and win. There we go, we've got the ultimate straight away. Super, super quick here. Really, really easy to get this done. And then we'll just get rid of that Resistance X-Wing. He's got the damage immunity at the moment, but we know that Millennium Falcon will dispel all buffs on basics. so it's not really going to be too much of an issue for us. Let's just basic over there. Booyah. Resistance Fighter is gone, so we're just waiting to get rid of this Rebel Y-Wing now. I'm passing it over to the Millennium Falcon. I was hoping we'd trigger that damage immunity straight away, but looks like we just chewed through him all the way on that first basic. Easy way of getting that undersized feat there with the profundity. Now, I know not everybody has the profundity. Thankfully, there are lots of other solutions. We can take the exact same approach with the Executor. Executor's standard starting lineup of Houndstooth, Xanadu Blood, and the Razor Crest. It's essentially the same thing. This battle obviously does take a little bit longer, but you're never really in any danger of losing this battle. Focus entirely on the comeuppance over here. Try to get rid of that one super quick. You'll hit contract very quick from the Razor Crest, which is great, and that does help you hit that ultimate very soon. Now, it doesn't have the raw damage output that we're expecting to see from like the profundity, so this battle does take a little bit longer. But ultimately, it is still a relatively reliable way of getting it done. I'm just going to increase the speed to 2 times because I don't feel like we need to be talking at this at standard speed. So yeah, the comeuppance, I think part of the issue here is that there's a lot of recovery on this team, and we don't quite have the damage output to just like rip through them because we're not reinforcing or anything like that. But you can see we've got the ultimate there. I'm saving that second special from the Executor because I don't want to waste that big heal. I'd rather save it for if one of our units gets in trouble. And we're just slowly chipping away. Get rid of the comeuppance first. Like I said, we can do a mass assist over here on the Rebel Y-Wing. There goes the comeuppance. Easy job. After this, it gets a little bit easier. They've lost some of that viability on their team. And they're not really looking, or they don't really have a heck of a lot of opportunity here to hit their ult. We are just that little bit more, a little bit quicker than they are in reaching ultimate. So we've gotten rid of the Rebel Y-Wing now. Just the SF-17 and the Resistance ship over here. And booyah, there we go. We've got our ultimate, and that's it. Game over. They can't really do much of anything at this point. They don't have any damage output. The Houndstooth is still one of the tankiest ships in the entire game, so they have got 0 chance. But I hear what you're saying. You're saying, guys, I don't have the profundity. I don't have the Executor either. Have you not got a more accessible ship for us to get this underman unit? I'm like, well, okay. Let's do it. As you can see, we're about to win this one, so we're going to move on to the very next fleet. And here it is. We're going to use Malevolence here. Malevolence with a starting lineup of Sunfac, the Vulture Droid, the Hyena Bomber, and the... Yeah, it is the Vulture Droid. Yeah, that's it. It's very easy with this team, guys. Thankfully, the Buzz Droids over here are so good at dealing damage to the enemy. We can shred through the opponents relatively quickly, and you get that constant summoned Vulture Droid unit every time we use a special from the capital ship. So even though we're not using a full team, you've got that additional firepower from all the additional Vulture Droids spawning in. The Buzz Droids are doing great work, and it seems like the Radus doesn't actually have the ability to cleanse those debuffs. So we're able to maintain quite high damage output throughout the entirety of the battle because they're just not dispelling the debuffs. As you can see, this was actually probably easier than the Executor matchup, truth be told. And, you know, if you did, yeah, like the Malevolence is an early game fleet, really. I imagine quite a lot of you will have this one done. Super easy, barely an inconvenience. I hope this video was useful to you people at home. I hope I helped you start off your weekend in a wonderful and fabulous Redbox way. And if I did, please hit that like button and consider subscribing to your boy Scribe. We are very close to 15,000 subscribers, which is a personal milestone for me. So thank you kindly, everybody. Big shout out to my wonderful patrons. You guys are the bomb. Big love to you guys. I will see you all in the very next video. Peace out, and may the Force be with you.